Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kenny Conversation, brought to you by JEGS, the leader in high-performance aftermarket car parts. Remember to go to jegs.com for everything you need to fix your hot rod. And here we are we're approaching December, and they're telling me that they got a lot of good Christmas stuff for sale. And remember, Jeep parts and truck parts in stock. Well, you're wondering, who is this young man? We have started something new. He is the second driver in Driver Spotlight. Drivers that are winning, but nobody knows him a lot right yet. But they know him in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Now they're starting to know him throughout America. Ty Fredrickson. Ty, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. How about you, Kenny?
Man, I'm doing good. I've heard so much about you. You're 15 years old. Are you from Webster, Minnesota?
Yep.
Before we get started, I can't help it. I love that cheese trophy in the background. Now, is that meant to be a piece of cheese?
Yes, it is. It's the Dick Trickle Trophy. Weir's Machining made it. It used to be like a big old block of cheese that had a 24 on it. So they spiced up this year, and I was lucky enough to win it.
Buddy, you're not just lucky. You are good. And that's why you are on the driver spotlight. We're shining the spotlight on Ty Fredrickson. I've been paying attention. They're getting jealous of you up there, and we're trying to calm everybody down. Every once in a while, somebody comes along in racing every 10 years or so, and you are that person. You are incredibly talented, but we've got to tell everybody about you, who you are, what you're up to. You are number 36, and we're going to be dropping pictures of your race car in here as we go. Where did that number 36 come from?
So my dad so when he first started racing, he was number 27, and I guess he didn't like the number that much, and somebody said to go up on the 2 and go down on the 7, and I guess it stuck from there.
I'm laughing. I was expecting something like, well, we love Joe Shear, from Beloit, Wisconsin, or I like Kenny Wallace, number 36. But I love the 36. Usually don't ask a lot about the number, but I'm older than you. I'm 61, so you're running my number. So I'm a big fan. That's awesome. Well, now, do you have another trophy in the area there at all, or does that trophy turn sideways? You got the model of Dick's car. Is that in that trophy?
Yes, it is.
Oh, let me see. Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It's got a light in there.
Yeah.
So it lights up and it changes all different colors.
Now, is that about 5/8 solid aluminum? That trophy?
I don't know what it is, but it's really heavy.
Yeah. And Chad Weir's made that?
Yep.
Oh, then that's a badass trophy, Ty.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get started. Okay. Ty Fredrickson, everyone. Asphalt. I about said dirt. Asphalt, super late model, the highest form of super late models. You're getting it on up there, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Let's start like this. Why do we have Ty on here? Well, he's 15 years old. He won the 2024 Kulikwi Development Driver Program champion. That is a very hard deal to win. You're the 2024 Tundra Super Late Model Champion and Rookie of the Year. Let's start with the Kulikwi win. You're a young man, but I'm sure people have told you about Alan Kulikwi.
Oh, yeah. So if you're anywhere in Wisconsin or anywhere around the country in that matter, everybody knows who Alan Kulikwi is if they're a racing fan. And so I heard about the program for a while. I signed up for it, not this year, but the year before, and I didn't get on it at all. But this year's my first time being on it. And my first race, or my second race at Slinger, his stomping grounds, people are coming up to me left and right telling Alan Kulikwi stories. It was a really cool deal.
Yeah, you're so young, and your dad is awesome. Your father is a badass. Real quick, not real quick. It's all about you, but your father, Dan, and your beautiful family, they love you so much. Tell me how much your family means to you.
Yeah, we're almost a family-run team. We got one guy helping us who's not blood related, but my whole family goes. Our hauler sleeps 8 people, so our whole family gets to come with us. So it's really packed in there, but we always have a good time.
I would say one of the reasons you're good is because you're able to compartmentalize. I would think that when you have that much family with you, does your family keep you calm? Do they make you nervous? What's it like to have everybody piled around that truck and trailer? Is it okay?
Yeah, my mom usually makes me food after practice, so it's always nice when you're done getting all sweaty and making laps and talking to your dad about setup to just walk in the hall and you got some chicken nuggets waiting for you.
So it works opposite. Your family has a calming effect on you. You get away from the back of the trailer and you go up, and it's like a home.
Hold on one second. Harper, you got to go. I'm on an interview.
Yeah, we can edit all this out. It's good. It's good. We can edit all this. It'll be like it never happened.
She just came in here calling me fat because I took a chair.
Okay. Look, in case he doesn't want to edit this out. So when you get out of the race car and you come walking back up to the truck, it's like walking into your house. Your mama calms you down.
Yep. And then I just sit there, lay on the couch, eating some chicken nuggets, waiting for qualifying.
Your father was so good. He won a lot, Dan Fredrickson. How does your dad communicate with you? Does he rough you up or does he just tell you what's up?
So he's my crew chief, car owner, spotter, but during the practice, it's like a normal crew chief driver conversation. And then he says he's a spotter during the race, but I'd more call him like a driver coach. He gives me advice more than he says inside or outside.
Okay, so I want to get into something for everybody up there in the north. You can have everything given to you, but if you don't drive that car, you remind me of Mark Martin. His father was Julian Martin, and Mark knew how to drive that race car. Where in the world do you think this is just part of your genes? Because when you get in that race car, you got to know how to roll off the gas. You got to know how to apply brake. Did this come naturally to you, or tell me the process?
Well, everything I go through, my dad has been through before. Like, he knows when I give him feedback about something that I could adjust in the car, he says it by the next corner, and I can just learn on that and try to get better throughout the laps. And now that I raced 41 times this year in a super late model, I kind of know what to do now, and it's really him helping me definitely has boosted my career quite a bit.
You know, Ty, I can relate with you. When I first started racing, I got a Dillon race car years ago. My brother Rusty had one. So Rusty was all, I knew what to do because I was with Rusty. And then he would tell me, I knew what was up because I had been there. Do you feel like that's the same for you? You kind of know what's up because you grew up watching your father?
Yeah, I kind of know like what the base was going into a super late model race because I was in the pits with my dad for years before I started actually racing. So I kind of got the gist of what was going on. But being the driver, I think I'm very glad I'm the driver now because it's a lot more fun doing that than taking tires off and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, and we watched this with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Chase Elliott. It was like, how are they so good? And we all agree that Dale Jr., Chase Elliott, they watched, their dad, Bill, and Dale Sr. watched them. So you feel like you absorbed a lot by just watching your father.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like, I'd always stand next to him, and when my uncle would go along, I'd always stand next to them when they're conversating about the setup and what they're going to do to change it and what helped on the last adjustment, what it made worse. So I always just kept my ear in the conversation, and now it's paying off for me.
So listen up, everybody. He's not some spoiled little kid. He absorbed it. He's got to drive the car. I hear all about you. All my friends up there, they tell me that you're a badass, that you can really drive. Okay, I guess I just had to defend you a little bit because, all my friends up there, they said, man, this 15-year-old kid is winning everything, and the big boys don't like it. So just a shout out. We watched Mark Martin go through this, winning everything. Job well done. Ty, I want to go back to the Quickie Development Driver Program champion. How hard was that to accomplish?
So when I joined it, I thought if I just won, I don't know, a bunch of races more than everybody else, I thought I'd be able to win it. But I think I had like 3 or 4 more wins by the first voting period than everybody else. And then I saw that I was in second by quite a few points, and I stepped up my community giving back. So I did a lot of that, and then I won a few more races, and I was still in second. So that I just flipped on the boosters from there and went full out on everything. I did a bunch of charity work, won 10 races, and it paid off in the end.
Okay, this is news to me and news to everybody. So I like this. So you're telling me winning is not enough. To be like an Alan Quickie, you have to be a good person. Is that part of the program?
Oh yeah, it's a huge part of the program. So they have competition points, and I think I had around 150 or 130, and my final points was like 1100. So a lot of the points comes from charity and giving back, and that's a very big part of it. And I think I raised around $33,000.
This is awesome. You know, I've given speeches at the Quickie program, but I didn't realize that part of this program is teaching you the right way to race, because we see a lot of winners out there, but they're pricks. You know, you don't want nothing to do with them. And yeah, but you're doing it right, buddy. That means a lot. Listen up, everybody. That Quickie program is no joke. Well done. I see that you raised some money for the North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund. I got my notes, you know, and of course you did some really good stuff for the North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund and the epilepsy cause. Both of them, were they both through the Quickie program?
Yeah. So the epilepsy one, my sister and my grandmother do have epilepsy, and there's this walk going on in St. Paul. So I did that, and like a little thing for them to make them feel better, and it was a really cool deal. And the North Carolina Hurricane or Disaster Relief, I partnered up with TPC, 2311 Racing, and Joe Gibbs Racing to raise money. And so the farthest south Menards was in West Virginia or Virginia. I don't know which one. So we bought about $8,000 worth of goods from there, like tarps, jackets, leather gloves, food items, children's medicine. And we sent them to the Toyota Performance Center, and then they delivered it to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2311, and they had their helicopters fly into the mountains.
Wow. Well done, Ty. It's hard for people to pay it forward, and your family and yourself, you did a real good job. That's very heartfelt. Okay. So you win the Quickie Development Driver Program. That's big. That means everybody in NASCAR sees it. We've watched some great drivers win that program and go on to have wonderful careers. So the Quickie Development Driver Program Championship is no joke. If you can win that, that means, number one, you can drive. That means you're a good human and you know what to do. Tell me about this 2024 Tundra Super Late Model Champion and Rookie of the Year.
So the Tundra Series is a 5-race series that go to, I think, 3 or 4 different tracks. And the first race was at Kakana, which I don't know if you've raced there. I'm sure your brothers have.
I have.
And so it was my first time there. We unloaded fastest in practice, qualified fast time. I think we started 14th or 16th and drove to the lead and won the race. And that was just a great start to the year with the Tundra Series. And then we had a rough race at Marshfield. I think we finished like 7th or 6th. But the next race was Dells Raceway Park. I qualified like 7th, drove to the lead, and I had a left front shock brake like 2 laps after I got to lead, and I was able to hold off second till about 20 to go. So that was a hard one to lose. And then the next race, which was at Golden Sand Speedway in Plover, Wisconsin, I won that race. I don't know where I qualified for that one, and then I had like a 20-something point lead over second going into the last race at Plover, and I didn't qualify that good because we had a little crate motor and in the super late class, so they would always beat me in qualifying, but I would be able to keep the tires under me for the race, so I'd be able to go by them. And I drove to the front. I think I was like top 3 or something, and then there's a few fast cars coming by me, but I didn't have to beat them to win the championship, so I just let them go, and I think I finished 4th.
Smart racing. Where did you learn to race like that? Mark Martin. Here we keep bringing Mark Martin up. In NASCAR, he taught people that we're racing the leader. If you're not the leader, we're not racing each other. The leader's up there. Where did you learn to let people go? Who taught you that?
Yeah, so my dad's been through all of this before, and he's the guy in my ear telling me smart things to do. And he's like, the guy who's second in points is behind you. You do not need to beat this guy to win the championship. So I just pointed my finger out the door, let him go by, and held on the 4th and to win the championship.
Wow, good job. Because you could have got, if you would have tried to hold him off, you might have got spun out. And then there that guy is making laps, and you're like, oh, why didn't I let him go? So, man, great teamwork. Your dad knows what he's doing. It reminds me of Rusty tutoring me along the way. So we're getting this dynamic now. We're learning how you got racing. Your father, Dan, is kind of like my brother, Rusty. He's like, I've been through this before. Here's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to New Smyrna for a little bit. I read a really interesting story where your dad took you down there, and he said he wanted to put you through the grinder. He's put you through the grinder to make sure you're ready. Can you think of anything down at New Smyrna where we know long straightaways, tight corners, people are grinding on each other, it's hard to pass? Has your dad taught you anything to do when you get to where there's 50 cars, everybody hates each other? What has your dad taught you about those moments?
Yeah, we went down to New Smyrna because it's 7 races or I don't know how many races, but in a week. So it's, half a season of racing just going there, and you learn so much, and you gotta keep your car intact so you can finish out the week. And it's super close, hard racing. There's a bunch of good, hard competition there that you have to beat, and it's just about keeping your nose clean, keeping the fenders on you so you can continue throughout the week.
And your dad learned that from Dick Trickle, and so did I. You must first finish to finish first. One of the most famous quotes in auto racing history by the great Dick Trickle. 400 lap race, 200 lap race. You must first finish to finish first. Well done, young man. I think that's awesome, because I've been down at New Smyrna, and your whole week can end in the first couple laps. So I get it. Okay. Your dad said he wants you to be a clean racer because he wants you to be good for sponsors. I like that. I read that. Tell me about that moment.
Yeah. It's important to stay clean so everybody has respect for you, and nobody's going out there and trying to crash you. You just stay clean, and it attracts sponsors, it attracts fans, and it gets respect from all the racers, all the fans, and all the track promoters.
Ty, listen, you're 15 years old. It's like I tell everybody for the new Driver Spotlight series, can't do an hour because you don't have an hour worth of stories. You're doing so good. Let's end it like this, my friend. We all know who you are now. You want to be a NASCAR racer, but when I read something about you, you said, quote unquote, short track racing is not a bad place to be. You sound like you're well balanced. but you want to be a NASCAR racer. Where are you at right now?
We're always working to move up the ranks in racing, trying to go to NASCAR, like I said. But if all in all, NASCAR doesn't work out for me, racing short tracks would definitely it'd definitely be a high point. It's probably the hardest racing you could probably get other than NASCAR. And the NASCAR drivers, sometimes they come back, run short tracks, and they could win cup races, but it's real challenge for them to win super late model races. So I think super late models are a really tough challenge, and I wouldn't be mad or anything if I raced short track for the rest of my life.
I'm serious. I got chills. This reminds me of Ty Majeski, Matt Kenseth. Young man, you're going to make it to the big time. You got the temperament. You got the great driving ability. You're automatically fast. You have speed. Wonderful family. Well, there he is, everybody. Ty Fredrickson, 15 years old, out of Webster, Minnesota. Congratulations, Ty, on all your success.
Thank you, Kenny, and thank you for having me on the show.
All right, everybody. Until the next driver spotlight here on Kenny Conversation, we'll see you next time.